these similar conditions and similar forces that we've seen in London a decade ago that he saw and experienced in London are very, very similar to the pressures we're seeing in New York City play out today. And in many ways, New York is just a decade behind where London is, and how it's just this mass flood of immigrants will inevitably, it'll change your demographics, it will change your politics, and it will change the character of your country, because of course these will all be led behind it. And now this is one of the things that I've said when we talk about the big beautiful bill. There's so many people who want to focus on the issues with it, and I say focus on the fact that at least the one thing that it does do, right? And this is why I'm behind it so much, the big beautiful bill, and I want it to become the big beautiful law, because it centers us back on the main quest, and the main quest is mass deportation. So, Roeg, if you could for us, walk us through why it is that immigration is sort of the main quest. And if we allow ourselves to be distracted and spend political capital on various other issues, or I'm not saying they don't exist and aren't out there, but ultimately this one thing will alter or destroy your entire country if you don't focus on it.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of talk on Twitter about the big beautiful bill, about the benefits and the deficits. And look, I mean, no bill is perfect. Every single bill that is passed, every single law is a product of compromise, where you have to weigh competing interests. You have to achieve some kind of consensus by making concessions, and that involves chipping away at certain aspects of an ideally presented initial bill. So we've had the remittance tax chipped down, for example. But yeah, this idea of immigration being the main quest in MAGA is absolutely true. And people have been saying on Twitter, look, what do you want? What kind of America do you want in 30 years' time? Do you want an America that has a much lower deficit, let's say, but is demographically a totally different country? So you don't pass the big beautiful bill, and whatever effects the big beautiful bill might have had on the national debt, they don't happen. But you don't fund the border wall. You don't provide more funding for ICE and for DHS and deportations, etc. So you get a totally changed America. Or in 30 years' time, maybe you have an America that has a bit more debt, or even significantly more debt, but the demographic change has been arrested and reversed, and America is still then fundamentally America. So, I mean, I think that is the best way to put it. It's like, okay, you can reduce the deficit, but then you don't do anything about demographics, or you do something about demographics, which is, I think, the fundamental problem, because if America's demographics change any more, then America is going to be a different country, and the economic side won't matter. So, yes, I mean, immigration is the main quest. It was, like you said, it was the main quest when Donald Trump came down that escalator 10 years ago. It's always been the central MAGA quest. All of the other things are side quests. This is the MAGA agenda. And ultimately, look, you're not going to get a better bill than this, I don't think. Now is the time to fund deportation, to fund the building of the border wall, and to get all of these millions and millions of people out of America before actually America is changed for good and you can't do anything about it.
There's never going to be a position or a politician like Donald Trump. He's never going to be at a position where he's at the zenith of his power more than he is right now. He's there. This is it. We are at the pinnacle. This is the pivotal moment that everyone has been waiting for. And yes, of course, politics is the art of the possible, as they say. And I'm here in Washington, D.C., and I can tell you that's definitely how it works on a day-to-day basis. But think of the Overton window shift from 10 years ago. President Trump, he could only really, when he was Mr. Trump, real estate developer Trump, candidate Trump, could only talk about a wall, but he would say why we need the wall. And he would describe the character of the people who were coming over. And the media instantly, and Don Lemon and CNN instantly attacked him for this, saying, how dare you even question this? Now, you notice, they talk about the treatment. They'll say, oh, you're sending them to Alligator Alcatraz. Oh, you're sending them to El Salvador. But they don't defend the types of people who are here illegally because they've seen the numbers. They've seen President Trump win by winning the popular vote and winning this massive victory in every single swing state because Americans absolutely want this. And you've seen a galvanization of the American people as well. 55% support all mass immigration. It's done. Just final minute to you. Could you talk us through how significant it is, where we've come from in the last 10 years to get to this point?
Yeah, well, like you say, the Overton window has shifted enormously. When Trump took power in 2016, he was pretty radical, but nowhere near as radical as he is now. A huge amount has happened in 2016. He laid the seeds, he laid the groundwork really, for what he's finally getting around to doing now, which is actually addressing the fundamental issue, which is mass immigration. He's been subject to incredible reversals. 2020, the stealing of the election, he nearly had his head blown off on national television. All of these things have, I think, radicalized him and pushed him, I think, to a position where actually he is really prepared now to do what is necessary.